See all the hate comments coming in.
I don't give a shit about
Fun
the hate comments.
guys, my hands.
Let the hate comments come in. I want the creator to do something good with this.
Yeah. See all the hate comments coming in. I don't give a shit about it.
Let me mute that. We're live, baby.
Mm,
So we're live. This is I think it's
two
the
fun
first
guys.
of its kind where we actually go live. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna share the hell out of this link so that as many people can join as possible.
Give you feedback. You see how many people actually join?
Yeah. Wait, why is it private? I don't want this to be private. The hell?
Oh, it's a good
Hold on.
place to work out the kinks too.
Yeah, but I don't want this to be private. Uh, all right, let's see. Let's see if the link allows people to join. I'm gonna tag you on YouTube too. Is that fine?
Yeah, I don't care. All royalties can be made payable
Absolutely.
to fun guys.
YouTube is paying what, half a cent for 1,000 views?
Oh, well, I guess that's a little better than jury duty.
Absolutely.
All we need is the entire population of 3 continents to view this, and we can buy dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And you can splurge at that, you know, like you can get a garlic roasted hummus.
Absolutely. I'm just going
Three
into
continents. Yeah,
fun guys talking about stuff. Okay.
fun guy. I love that. I'm gonna make a shirt out of that one. Fun guys. I'm a fun guy. You need that like a Brooklyn Jersey accent or whatever it is. Fun guys, yeah?
Mm-hmm. The fun guys.
Funny guy. I'll show you a funny guy. What are these fun guys gonna talk about?
Oh man. Well, since I initially talk about relationship and I enjoy bringing everything through the prism of relationship because I think that really through romantic relationships you can tell a lot about a person, you can tell a lot about struggle, you can tell a lot about the reason things are happening or not happening for somebody. You can tell about how to attract and how attraction works. So I just love that topic overall. Relationship. What is this? Listen, I've been married for, I celebrated 10 years March 9th.
Oh,
10 years.
congratulations.
So I don't even know what it's like out there, but I hear it's not nice.
It's like dumpster diving. You know, when you've been to a really nice fine cuisine restaurant and you've had good things in life and
Yeah.
then all that's taken away and now all your scraps come from the bottom of a dumpster. That's not true. I
Okay.
can't I can say that having gone through that scene.
Yeah. And you have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I actually quite enjoyed the scraps at the bottom of a dumpster for a while there too. There's a
But
level of insanity with that.
oh, absolutely.
But I've made it back into the fine dining establishments. Took a shower, cut my hair, put on some new clothes.
You're doing pretty well now.
Sure, by somebody's standard, sure. By somebody's standards, I'm doing phenomenal.
I like that. Everything is in comparison.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you and I talking about before we uh
Oh,
went live?
what were we talking about? That was some fun guy stuff, though.
So we were talking about everything. I think we're talking about relationships, we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about um inner struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's becoming more and more apparent how challenging just living is. Just
Yeah. Was that was part of the conversation we were having? It was like, it doesn't matter where you go, everybody seems to be a bit miserable. And then
hmm
you hear people complain. Like yesterday, I went to pick up some dinner last night. And make a long story short, I'm sitting in the drive-through. I sat there a few minutes. And I was like, "This is stupid. Why am I sitting in the drive-through? I'm gonna go out and go inside. I can move faster." The guy gets out of line behind me too, and he comes in. He just starts complaining right away. Right? He's screaming and yelling, "Why are y'all allowing people to hold up the line and whatever?" And I had said, "Well, they're working a job that pays them just over minimum wage, and they go home and they struggle, and they can barely pay their bills, and they're probably fighting with whoever they're with, and you expect them to be happy or make things work smoothly here?" I was like, "Dude, everybody's struggling, but you coming in and acting like an asshole doesn't help. You're having a different conversation."
Yeah, I am. The kid came into the room. You can pick whatever you want. Yeah, as opposed to who? Okay. What do you need for that?
Tell them you need $500.
No, we're not quite there yet. He's only 9.
Oh, yeah, I could blow $500 real easy, real quick on sugar.
Oh yeah. All
You ever
right.
go to
So
like those game rooms, like some pizza houses or some things have those game rooms where they go in, they spend $50 on tokens, and then when they're done, they go buy all this candy with whatever tickets they got, and they come out with like realistically $3 worth of candy that cost you $50.
sorry guys. You need to connect to the Wi-Fi, and then once you're connected to the Wi-Fi, la malination, wait for it to connect. Sure. Why not? Why shouldn't it happen in the middle of broadcast? Hasn't happened before that.
No, because that's just the why. Why is that? What is that timing? That flawless time.
Just perfect. Totally fine.
No, I feel that way quite often. What are the odds? I always say, what are the odds? Apparently 100% if it happens.
I've never been good at calculating odds.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. It was 100%. What are the odds? They were 100%. Did it happen? Yeah. There was 100% guarantee that that is exactly going to happen the way it happened.
There's something there to what you're saying, right? Because if it happened, it happened. But then it brings us to our experience currently, right? Everybody's going through something. Doesn't matter how good your life is, Everybody's going through something. So if it happens, it happens. The question is why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is it happening? What's the purpose of it? Look, I have friends who are in their 40s single. They can't find someone to settle down with, or mid 30s and they're still looking. Um and you're like, why? It used to be that you got out of school, you got married, went to work, life was simple. Sure, it wasn't simple, it was never simple. But it seems that we're going through something that, even on a global level, feels, I don't even know how to say, like out of a movie.
Yeah. Surreal.
Surreal.
I don't know what that word means. I've just heard it used a lot. And I figured that was good timing to throw it in there. Surreal.
It feels surreal. And we're all trying to make sense of things.
Yeah. We're all trying to make sense of something we don't understand in the first place. So really all we're doing is dumbing something down to where we can make it a bite-sized morsel and go, this is what it is. But what it is today is not what it is tomorrow, right? What my struggles are today, I wake up tomorrow and it's completely different. And the struggles that were today still exist. They're just not a problem tomorrow. Why is that?
For example,
Oh, you're asking me?
yeah.
Um, let's say the struggles of today are nothing other than just a mental state, a mood that I am in for no reason. Because yesterday I had a great day, shared with some friends, we cooked, whatever it was. I go to bed and I wake up today, nothing changed. Not one thing is any different, but my state of mind. And now everything's a problem, right? I can't get my damn toe through my underwear without tripping and falling over. The ice maker spits ice, is grinding ice instead of giving me cubes. Like everything's a problem when they're not even problems. I could have just slowed down a little bit. I could have done something different, but it's my perception. And then tomorrow is an even worse day because somebody asked me to fix something.
So I believe, and I genuinely believe this, that we're coming to a point where, without something that's above me, and I'm talking about like a spiritual force, call it the universe, call it God, call it whatever you want to call it, right? Unless there's something above me, nothing will make sense anymore. Unless there is something that's more important than me, a cause, right? It could be something, anything that's more important than me, life will not make sense.
Okay. So don't you feel like you start to see that nobody thinks that anything is more important than them? Their problems are more important than other people's problems?
Sure. But it's not even our fault, right? This is how we're brought up. This is our nature. This is how we're built. Because we're feeling our problems, right? You're feeling your problems, I'm feeling my problems. We're feeling, each is dealing with whatever they're dealing with. And so to come out of that and to think about someone else, or to think about something else, or to try to connect above, it requires effort. Although when you do it, you realize it actually took a lot less effort to connect to something higher than it is to dwell or to try to solve my problems.
How do you connect to something you don't even know what it is in the first place? Like, where do you start? I guess is more or less. Like
You
this?
start
Just two people getting together?
you start with yourself. Um, what social media did for us is it shut our ability to listen to ourselves. Right? It's easier for me to drown my inner voice through scrolling and mindless watching of TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is, just drowning myself in content, than to just sit for half an hour a day and just listen to myself. Because all the answers are already in you. If you sit down for 30 minutes and you ask yourself, what should I do? What do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? What's, what am I actually looking for? Many times they will come and they'll guide you. If not the full picture, you'll get the next step.
But how do you know what to act upon? Okay, let me maybe ask it this way. How do you overcome the self criticism and doubt that you'll be successful? It's like those old cartoons where you had like the angel here and the little devil here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
One's
yeah.
talking to you like this and one's talking to you like that, and it's back and forth. Here's a great idea. Why don't you try this? No, 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 no. And you go, nah, I'm not going to do it because, or that old saying of you have two wolves, you know, fighting inside of you. Which one wins? The one you feed.
Mm-hmm.
How do you overcome that self criticism and doubt? Some people have a solutions. Man, you go listen to guys like a lot of these military guys, special forces guys, uh, guys that are part of the teams will tell you, like they got a structure and they're driven and they'll tell you exactly this is what you're going to do. You're going to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you're not going to fucking quit and you're just going to keep going and blah, blah, blah. And I go, man, that's great. But to me, sometimes when you say things like that, it's like telling me, go drive a car without any gas.
Yeah.
How far are you going to get?
So what's the actual question?
Fuck, I don't
Look,
know.
I'm sitting down with myself, right? And I'm like, I'm just tired of the two voices, right? Because the two voices are exhausting. For me, the two voices are when I get a like a push, an inner push, like wash the dishes. Stupid, right? But wash the dishes. And I'm like, in 5 minutes. And then next thing you know, the dishes are there for 2 days. But it's like that with everything, right? It's like that with life, where life tells you go to the gym, or life tells you go for a walk, or life tells you, you know, meet with a friend, and you're like, maybe later, or yeah, it's never a clear cut choice. But when you're in, so here it's like the challenge is to stay in resource, right, where you're able to make that choice. It means you need to learn how to feed yourself energy, how to actually energize yourself so that you have the force and the power to make the decision.
In a simpler way, what you're saying is move now.
Move. Oh, I saw this what do they call it? Not oh my God, what are they the TED Talk where the lady talked about the brain and she said anything that comes to you that you don't realize within 4 seconds, it's gone. The motivation to act comes within 4 seconds.
Okay, so let's dumb this down in a more practical, simplistic way. When your alarm clock goes off, do you hit snooze or do you get up?
That depends on how I went to sleep.
First time doesn't matter. Do you get up or do you snooze?
No, so I'll explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
If I go to sleep, no matter how tired, but I'm actually positioned like I'm thinking about how I'm gonna wake up, what I'm gonna wake up for, how like what is the purpose of my waking up, what I'm gonna do. Like, and I go to sleep with that, my waking up is easy. If I pass out, then waking up, like just go to sleep without any prep, my waking up is torturous. Hey
Dan
Dan.
made it. Welcome, Dan. Welcome to some
Dan, we're
fun
live
guys
on
talking
Facebook.
stuff.
Excellent. I love Facebook. Uh,
Sorry, we're live on sorry, we're not live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube.
oh, that's good. Forget Zuckerberg. YouTube, whoever owns them now. I'm just waiting for my girlfriend to get ready here, so I thought I'd pop in, see how you guys
Love
are.
it.
I see that you're talking about alarm clocks. It's good. Um, pertinent.
No, no, no one ever said talking about alarm clocks is a good thing. Never. It's like some hate speech. What's the worst thing you can tell somebody? Wake up.
Wow.
So, whoa, woke it.
That that is some potent wisdom right there. What is the worst thing you can tell someone? Wake up.
That is some deep wisdom. Yeah. It's like
That's
Mike.
all I got.
It's
If
like
we can get all three continents to log on to YouTube right now and view that, we might even.
that's like Mike Tyson wisdom. Mike Tyson, man, that
Hey,
guy's
man.
he's coming making. You know what he said? He said, uh, he's talking to the interviewer, and the interviewer is annoying because you know what? Everybody's got a plan until they get hit.
They get
Oh,
punched.
100% true.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's right. It's like that's deep shit, man.
Yeah,
Shit. Yeah.
nice.
yeah. I love Mike, man. That dude has been through so much,
Oh, he's
changing so much, but so self-aware right now.
yeah.
And like some of the stuff that spews out of him. A lot of people are doing that though, you know, like a lot of people that were let's call them big egoists in one day at one point in time. Like Mike Tyson was like the poster
Undefeated
child,
champion. I
right?
mean, the dude was a
Just this
beast. Still
massive
is.
hunk of angry meat
Angry
that
meat.
could hit you with a sledgehammer.
I
And
remember, and his manager too
yeah,
was just as bad.
but now you listen to the things that come out of him and the restructuring he's gone through and the struggles that he had to go through to get to where he's at, man. I can get lost listening to a lot of people, but definitely Mike Tyson.
I agree. I
And if
agree.
you're listening, Mike, and you want to hang
You
out
want to
and
jump
ride a
jump on
tiger or something together,
You want to jump on?
you want to jump
jump
on.
on the Zoom. Connect with us.
Who
Let's
tight?
talk. I hear he's fighting Jake Paul, right?
God, I hope it's all just some rumor bullshit.
I
You know
don't.
he's gonna kill him.
Oh,
That
well, how old is Tyson now?
Tyson's 55, 57.
Wow. He looks great, but I
Oh,
don't.
he trains the it's like riding a bike for him. He's back in the game.
Wow. What a desire, eh?
I don't know. How old was George Foreman? When he like 49
Oh, I
when
watched
he
that
came
fight.
back and won
Yeah,
his heavyweight.
yeah, I watched that fight. He was 40 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I
So
mean
what
to come
the
back
alarm clock?
and
What's going on with the alarm clock? That
The
was
alarm clock. We were talking about motivation and how I was listening to a TED talk where the lady essentially uh explained how the brain works, that you have a 4-second window to act upon anything that comes to you.
sure.
And if you miss the 4-second window, you're just in the muddy waters. You can't move essentially towards that. So it's like as that little push, that little nudge, that little voice comes to you, like act or don't. And so they were saying how the successful people, the happy people essentially are the ones who are training themselves constantly to act on that little nudge, because it comes from this is my interpretation, right? They didn't say it like that, but it comes from another place.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird though. There's different things that happen. There's ones that don't nudge you. You just want it, and like you think about it for days, right? And it could be a pizza, it could be anything. I don't know, but like there's those, right? And then there are the nudges. Not all of them are nudges. Many of them are like tidal waves that say you like I'll give it like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was, he wasn't happy. But like, do you think that he just had a nudge to do what he did? No. He said there's nothing he could do. Like, he could never make another decision in his life because that's the way it had to be. Like, we're talking about a man who, like, the fonts had to be perfect on the computer, right? And if the font wasn't, he would literally lose sleep. Like, lose sleep. So I think there's nudges, and then there's this other thing. You got two different things that are going on.
Interesting. So you have nudges and you have obsessions, a desire that burns so deeply within you that you have no other course to take other than,
Your path.
yeah. I don't think this is the majority of people though. And I don't think these people are listening to us. Or maybe they are.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, you just have to tone it down. So I can't wait to go on vacation. I can't wait. I'm going to Disneyland, right? And I can't wait. And they think about, man, they're thinking about that shit all the time. I know, because when COVID came, it was like, I don't know, I thought COVID was great. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized 90% of the population is only waiting for like literally 2 weeks to go on vacation. That's essentially what they're waiting for, and they're working for, is the 2 weeks of vacation. And
God,
they think about it, man. Like where they're going. Oh, wait. I mean, even like maybe you can see it easier in women. Women like express their desires more. They have like all these interesting little, like my mom kept wanting a cottage, right? And I realized, like, you just want to decorate it. And she's like, yeah, like that's it. She went through like, it's a good investment. We can bring the family together, which is part of it for sure. Don't get me wrong. Like,
nice.
mom's not a robot. She wants to bring the family together for sure. But the peak of it, just maybe over the family or in the same area, was I get to decorate.
I get to decorate it.
Yeah.
How many of our desires do you think are actually masked by something simpler and deeper?
All
Just
of
like
them.
I just
Every
want
single one of them.
Yeah.
How do I know what anything is?
I know what all Brandons are masked by. He wants to blow shit up. That's why he does everything. Eventually, he'll get to blow something up.
I just want to push the button. Push the button. Push the button.
Yeah, no, it's a real question. Simpler.
No, I think that's a good question though, but I ask this question to myself a lot and I go, what is that causes that? Let's just call it food for an example, right? I'm hungry. It's a desire to be fulfilled. What does it matter what I eat? Whether it's this elaborate, high flavorful meal or it's a rice cake. In the end, I'm full.
No way, man. They're different. Having like, okay, so if I just gave you a stick of wheat, and assuming you're a cow, and I guess you can, maybe that's not the best example, but like, what's the difference between a cake and some wheat bread, right? Like, man, one's going to fulfill the desire, and the wheat bread may never fill it. You could eat tons of it.
No. I'm talking the hunger itself, though, right? You understand, like, just to fulfill the desire itself. The satisfaction won't be satisfied in the taste bud and the brain, but the stomach will be like, I don't need nothing else.
Yeah, but that's the physical side. The desire still is unfulfilled. It just got the physical.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When we start talking about all of it, like, what is it? What am I really lacking? What is love? What am I really chasing? What does a material thing actually really do? What is that desire, the root of all these things that I'm constantly chasing to try and fulfill?
every
Because
material.
as soon as I get it,
Hmm.
say again.
All the
This is interesting. At some point, I had a vision, kind of like I felt how safe and loved and secure we felt in a womb, right? Inside our mothers, where you are nurtured, fed, loved, and protected. Just endless, infinite love. And once we're out, all of our efforts is to build that back up again, which is why we have cities, which is why we have communities, which is why we have everything is in an attempt to recreate the
The
womb.
womb. No shit.
that's kind of true, actually. That's kind of true.
And I was blown away by that. I was like, fuck, look at the skyscrapers and metal buildings and concrete sidewalks and all of the elaborate systems
That's true.
just to recreate the
Let me ask you,
love that
so
we felt.
what happens if the womb experience was bad?
What happens is if the womb experience is bad, you gotta learn how to
I
love.
know what bad it is.
Yeah, you have to learn how to love. You have to learn to well, maybe it isn't bad, right? Maybe there's a challenging womb experience, but still the love is still there. You are
I
still
think,
brought to birth, right? Which means
yeah, but I think what you're saying too, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. The power of a sculptor, right? And clay. Every scrape takes away from the lump itself, only in the end to reveal its final product.
sure.
And to say something is bad, like, how do I know what is bad? Oh, in this state, yeah, it's bad. In this current moment, yeah, it's miserable.
Yeah.
In whatever time in the future is, when I can look back and look at it and go, that's exactly what I needed. I needed those things. And for some people, maybe it started in the womb.
That's true. Oh, now you're saying that that love extends out of the womb already. We just don't know it.
From the beginning of time, from the beginning of creation. Like, what is there other than this love?
I think that's so what Brandon said, I think that's true. I think that's the answer.
Oh God, I hope I didn't come up with the answer.
No, just this is the only one you ever got. This is it.
This it. That's all it was. This was my lotto ticket.
Yeah, no, it's strong, but it's strong as shit though. Like if you really feel what he said, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. That like you got to
This,
go
this
through.
was the only time you got something right, my friend.
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's still a win.
Yeah, but it was big. You don't get that stuff by yeah, you don't get that stuff easy. That was it's true. And you can say it, you can say like well, we're just after love. And it's like it doesn't come out the same. Not the way you said it. It's good. I like it. I'm with you. What's the next issue?
I mean, that's all I got. I think I just solved the world's problems. All you need is love. We should probably
All
write a
you
song
need is
about it.
love. Love. Love is all you
That was
need.
Beatles, right?
Yeah.
So that would have been written by John Lennon, who was very, very deep man. Very, yeah.
The problem I feel with the word love, not with love, but with the word love, is I feel it's overused and oversaturated and it's lost its flavor
I love
to the
you.
point where I can say, well, and the use of it too. If you've had something sacred to you, like something very special, right, from a person to maybe a toy when you were little or something, you know that you don't usually speak about it out loud too much. Like you kind of keep it, you know. You open up to others who are worthy of it, but you're not willingly sharing this thing because it's going to be overused. And I feel like love is one of those things. If you have love, you're not eager to just share it because you understand that it's going to be used and abused by others. And the trick here, and this is what a lot of women who come to work with me struggle with, is giving love not in an attempt to make someone love them back, but giving love only once figuring out that the other person is someone worthy of love, right? Like getting to know the other person, getting the other person to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, giving it once realizing it's worth giving? Does that
So
make sense?
there is a concept in spirituality where we're not going to be given anything we cannot handle. Love
Okay.
is that thing where you want to experience love, wonderful. It's a force beyond anything you can possibly imagine.
So if it's
And so
unlimited, right? This love is unlimited, then the opposite has to hold true as well.
even using the word unlimited is a limitation.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're dumbing it down to a word you can comprehend.
So experiencing it is life. Coming to a point where every breath, every moment of life, every interaction, every experience, everything is that love. It's not something that can be done on a mental level. It's experience, it's yearning, it's something that it's that desire, right? Like Dan described it in earlier in no Bill Gates, right? Where you just have that thing that drives you. But with love, it's like much more subtle, right? It's like something is digging at your heart, not letting you rest. It's something that's constantly there, calling you, gnawing at you from inside, and you don't know what it is, but you know that something's missing, and so you begin to search for it. And it's the connection with your own self. It's the connection with others. It's rediscovering those connections. It's like neurons that are reforming in the brain, but you're doing it live. You're re-experiencing the whole of creation over and over and over again in this lifetime.
Yeah, I think I gotta go, but I think love, the thing about it is we talk about Bill Gates or whomever. That's all automated. You can ask at least Steve Jobs. He wrote about it. He said there's nothing you can do to change it. But I think love is this, there's a choice in there somewhere, like on top of this infiniteness and whatever we're trying to describe with these words, there's a choice there. It's an active thing still. And it doesn't come through automation. All right, guys, have fun. Thank you.
Good
Man,
night.
thank you for coming, Dan. What you feeling,
I
brother?
still, huh?
What are you feeling?
No, I'm still really stuck on this whole oppositeness thing. Like I was saying, is that you can call it a desire inside of you. You don't know what it is. It's unmeasurable. It's unquenchable. But how can you comprehend the greatness of something if you have not experienced equally its opposite?
Right. So, which is why I can be grateful for the experience of the opposite, because specifically through it, I'm able to comprehend and feel something else, the abundance.
But how can you tell someone, like, how could you tell someone who's lost a loved one or a child that person? You can't. Like, there's no way to explain it. You can't tell. How do you tell somebody who was raped or whose family member was murdered? Like, you can't. There's no way to justify these things and what am I trying to say? But you
It's
can
the
look
whole
at,
argument. It's the whole argument of, if there's a God, then why are all bad things happening, right? If there is this love, then why are all bad things and experiences happening? Kind of.
well, yes and no. I mean, I guess it's perception. It's a level of perception. If what is that statement from Einstein? Like a problem can't be solved from the same level it was created, right?
I love that quote. I love that.
So how can you explain to somebody who's gone through something so terrible, that's exactly what was needed? Right now, it's not going to make sense. You can't comfort them. You can't tell them, oh, it's a good thing. Oh, you went through such great difficulties. I'm so envious of you. You can't say things like that. And then you're left with internalizing something and going, wow, there was a huge correction that just took place. And I saw it experienced through this person. I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. But what is the opposite level of that level of pain or struggle or hurt? That's a measurement of love I can't comprehend.
It's humbling.
But we forget so quickly that everybody's going through something. You know, I went through these some therapy um PTSD clinics, and we talked about one of the things we talked about was um not labeling somebody's um trauma or experience, but just putting a number on the level of pain, right? So let's say, for an example, I broke my finger, and the worst thing you've ever experienced was a paper cut.
Mhm.
But if you're sitting here telling me how bad a paper cut hurts, and I'm going, yeah, but if you ever broke your finger, then I'm judging your pain, right? Instead of just going, what level of pain was that at for you? And you tell me it's a 10. And I go, oh, okay, well, that's a 10 for me. Somebody who lost a child could go, well, I'm not comparing the loss of a child to a breaking of a finger or a paper cut. Just telling you what a 10 is to me, and somebody else has a 10. And then we all started to relate to each other based upon these levels of pain, right? What's a 10 for me?
Mm.
Let me think about, okay, I know what this is. You say you're at a 10? Okay, I can relate to you on this level of pain. But stop associating who's hurting more based upon their experience. You have no idea what it is to that person. A 10 is a 10. What does it matter if it's a
Mhm.
paper cut or harsh words or whatever it is? It's the worst thing they can experience. So I think part of that is reprogramming society in general, how we can relate to each other.
I think this is the key right there, is to the re-education of all of us on being able to just relate to one another. And
Yeah.
I came across this, there's a war in Israel and everything like that, and the hostages that got kidnapped into Gaza. Um, and they did an interview with two mothers whose kids are hostages. And one mother goes, I'm fine. I don't need him coming back if that means that we have to stop the war. And the reason is because I'm thinking about my other kids. I'm thinking about the rest of the nation. She's like, her approach is completely different. And the other mother is just like, at any cost, like, my son needs to be home. And you're listening to the level of pain, and my heart is just shattering. I'm crying. I'm like snot everywhere because I don't know. I'm just very empathetic like that, and I feel that pain. And at the end, they go, "What this did for us is we don't have to agree with one another, but we can now relate to one another. And that ability to relate to another person, even if you disagree with them, even if you think differently, even if you like just completely cannot relate to him, and yet, what was the word we used?
For what?
They're just able to no relate. Um, but you can see him as another human experience, right? It's the whole namaste of the Hindus. It's like, I see you.
Yeah. But it's a difficult. That's a thing too. Is that it's not an easy task. It's easy to talk about. The concept of it is very simple. It's probably one of the most simplest things. Put it into action. Now you find out. Now you got something else that wakens inside of you that says, "Fuck that." Oh no, right? And you find this yank, like you're trying to steer a horse, and all of a sudden the horse is steering you. What is that, right? So you have these opposites, you have this thing to overcome, and then you try to implement. The moment you try to implement it, wham, something else internally tries to jerk you off that path.
A lot of people, when they talk about like connection and love and all of that stuff, and naturally goes, it's like, what's the practical way? So I think the practical way is, number one, we have to talk about it. It has to be a collective discussion. It has to be a collective understanding that no other values and no other way of living, if we cannot relate to one another on a human level, is worth it in and of itself. Not the communism, not the socialism, not the Marxism, not the nothing, not the wealthiest and whatever it is. We all see that everything we create as humans turns to dust. It's worthless. It just gets corrupted time and time again, and we've seen it for thousands of years, and we continue to do it because we have no other way to do it unless we build that value first. So talking about it has massive value. Then once we actually begin to be in agreement, to just on a mental level be in agreement that this is needed, the practical ways of expressing it, the schooling, the methodologies, the everything exists, and it will get implemented by the right people. And they will implement because they have the desire and the skills for it and the money to invest, and they have the support of the community, and they have everything, you know? But right now, the people who can implement and have the methodology cannot, because they don't have the support of anybody. They can open a school today, nobody's going to come.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it has to be a conversation that we're having. We have to understand that you can only fight for so long. Like at the end of the day, the enemy is inside. It's that little voice that is ruining your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I have this thing I say to myself a lot is my enemy is my inner me inside of me. That's all it is. It's just this little voice inside of me who says, "You're wrong. You're a prick. You're an asshole. You did this. You did that. You." It points the finger at everybody else, and then it turns around and it gives me some kind of judgment that I'm right and you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's the thing. How do you tame that? How do you quiet that? How do you overcome? How can you create such a restriction of these thoughts, feelings, desires, and truly feel someone from their perspective without your own judgmental process involved in it? Because it's like contaminating something. The moment I put anything of me into you, I've contaminated your entire essence. So how can I ever feel you for who you truly are?
Well, there is a concept of every man is a world, right? And to me, it means that I don't need to feel you as you are, because I don't think I will ever be able to feel anything as it is. How can
Right.
you feel anything as it is? Everything is subjective. You touch a tree and the way it feels to you is not going to be the way it feels to somebody else. And how can you even judge or measure that? And it's the same point you made with the pain, right? It's like if we have different experiences, how can we possibly relate to the same thing? We can't. Um, but it's knowing how my nature works and knowing how the nature of others works. And again, not in detail because I cannot relate to them, but in concept, that I know that in order, the formula is simple. There is good and bounty awaits for me, awaiting me in whatever manifestation it comes, in good life and wealth and whatever it means for it, whatever, it doesn't even matter. I know it's going to be good. The only reason it's not here today and now is because I cannot accept it without corrupting it. So I have to go through a certain experience in my life to be able to cleanse myself to receive the good and bounty, the good and plenty in a good way. And what is the good way? So it doesn't corrupt the very thing that I receive. Because in my qualities today, and I'll speak plainly, if I want a relationship, a good and loving relationship with a person who's going to love and care for me and everything that I can dream of, if I'm not ready for it in my present state, me getting that person is only going to corrupt the relationship because I'm
So
not
how do you
ready for it.
prepare yourself?
So that's what life does. And once you understand that life does that not just for you, but for everyone, prepping you to receive the good and plenty, you begin to empathize with everybody's experience and actually be excited for everybody's experience and be able to support everybody else. And that speeds up your process of evolution and growth. When you understand that everybody is going through something, right? It's the point that we started with. Everybody has a story, everybody has a challenge, everybody has a struggle, everybody has an experience. And all we can do is create these mini pods of support systems.
And that's tough. That is tough. I mean, I can only say you can imagine all the difference, right? People, when it comes to politics, nationalities, religions, whatever it is. Let's say that those are high levels of something. I'm going to go with something as simple as road rage. How can I overcome? I can have this conversation all day long. I can prep myself. I can go out into the world and say, it's going to come and it's going to come just like this. And it's only for you to correct yourself. And the moment it shows up, I'm going to spiral out of control and turn into a madman or want to run somebody off the road. And that's on something just as simple as being in two different vehicles, not engaging in a conversation, no words, no nothing. How you can truly hate somebody and wish for the worst to happen to them just because they won't get out of the fast lane. Let alone you start to really complex it with people's beliefs in how fiery they are with their politics or differences in, somebody wants to pretend that they're a fuzzy rabbit and this guy's an old hardcore country bumpkin, you know, it's not going to happen. Put these two in the same room. One of them is going to kill the other. That's all it's going to do. Unless you have some kind of controlled environment. I think the military is very good at that. They take people of different race, religion, nationality all the time. And if you got a problem, they become your bunkmate. And if you can't work it out, you're going to do everything together, right?
Mm.
And you learn to become, and then you find out you're really good friends. They become somebody that you know, you can't imagine doing life without. And they're
Wow.
completely opposite of you. And the military already has this figured out. But it's a controlled environment too, because the moment, you know, like you and I can be the two opposites. The moment you fuck up, I'm paying for it too. The moment I
Mm.
fuck up, you're paying for it. And then we realize it doesn't matter which either one of us do. We're both paying for it equally. So we might as well just work together. But you don't have that type of system in the world that holds you accountable or rewards you at the same time, right? Like
So the
what's
system exists. The challenge is nature operates in this way. But the reason there is a very delayed reaction is because we as people are meant to have freedom of choice. Because the moment I feel that if I if I do bad, everybody suffers, and if they do bad, I suffer, and there is a direct emotional feeling and correlation, you have no choice. You have to
right?
act like an animal according to a certain set path for you, and you cannot deviate from it because my desire to enjoy pleasure and to run away from pain will control every single behavior I have. The fact that I feel disconnected from others, that I cannot feel another, that I cannot actually truly feel maybe the consequences of my actions or something like that, doesn't mean that there is no consequence, and it doesn't mean that I will not feel it. I can come to a point of remorse in 10 years after an action, or I can have a certain experience later on that happened to me. The universe, nature is a harmonious, interconnected system where nothing can move without affecting all the other pieces.
Just like the concept of the butterfly effect or whatever, right?
Right.
It's all connected.
And as an evolutionary process, we as people, as humanity, we're at a completely different point today than we were 7 years ago. More and more people are talking openly about how, the system is interconnected and how we are, we need to be at a completely different place, and love and spirituality and the energies and all of these things. And I think it's a good thing. And I believe that our world is going through a certain shift that it requires a different level of maturity from us as people. And in the beginning, we talked about, right, the something higher, the something that's above us, the something
Right.
that like that it's not just me and I'm the pinnacle, the point of the earth that's like the most important in my world, but there's something else above me. And I think we're all getting really humble right now.
We're getting humbled,
Yeah.
not more agitated.
Hmm.
Not more agitated, but humbled.
Humbled. I think humbled because I think, look, agitation and all of these emotions, they come from where? They come from me feeling out of control.
And
But
through
once
that
there is,
process brings it to this humbleness.
well, the realization that something else is in control humbles me to know that I'm not. So if I'm not in control all the time and something else is in control, it humbles me, shows me that there is something greater and more important than I am.
Yeah.
That maybe I need to learn how to connect to it.
Well, that's the key. How?
It's a whole study. It's a whole
No, it
system.
is
It's
like
a whole.
that's I mean, it's a process. You can see that we are in a world of instantaneous gratification. I'm gonna do
Yep.
the least amount of effort and I want the maximum amount of reward right now.
Yep.
This process is not going to work that way. Is going to be a process and it's going to take a lot of work. And it's the mentality of I don't plant a tree today because I want to eat the fruit and sit under the shade of it tomorrow. I'm doing it for the generations to come
Yep.
so that my grandchildren's grandchildren can enjoy it. But it's got to be a mentality shift, right? Like you have to say, I got to do the work. It's important. It's inevitable that we all come together and we do this work now and not expect a reward. And that's hard, man, because then you start finding that
But
thing that pulls against you.
there can be a reward. We can't do anything without a reward. Nothing. We cannot move a finger without it being
Right.
good. So this, as we study and as our sages tell us, the influence of the environment can move mountains, can make you do whatever you want. From the terrorist who's willing to kill himself because he's under a certain influence of the environment, to the most generous and I don't know, guy who like builds schools in Africa, or I don't know, donates $1 billion to God knows where, uh, because there is a either internal motivator that makes them feel good through this action, or a certain feedback from the environment that tells them that makes him feel good. So if we talk about it and we actually create a system of influence that actually tells us this is good and this is bad, this is what we appreciate and this is what we don't appreciate, and have a discourse in society of of the outcome, the consequence that we want to get to. It's like a couple coming together and beginning to plan their life, right? On a global human level, this is what we're talking about. Like, let's plan our life. How do we see our future? How do we see our production? How do we see our people? How do we see our daily life? How do we see and so you begin to build this world. And sure, right now, you and I sitting here with 2 people watching, 3 people watching right now, it doesn't matter. Maybe there's going to be more. Who cares? The fact we're talking about it and putting this energy out there, this is what's needed at this point.
Yeah.
Look at what's happening with Kellogg. Did you hear about the whole Kellogg not ban, what are they? People stopped buying Kellogg because the CEO of Kellogg came out and he said, for a family to save money, they should eat cereal for dinner while raising the cost of cereal 22%.
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, bro. So people were like, "Oh, really?" They went to TikTok, and for the past couple of months, not even a couple of months, it's been like 3, 4 weeks, people have just been not buying Kellogg's. And there are videos how to make your own cereal, your own Pop Tarts, your own whatever Hot Pockets, everything, but nobody's touching Kellogg. And people are going into stores and are like, they're taping how all the cereal is on sale, or all the Kellogg's product is on sale. It's like $3, $2.99, $2.50. Bro, this is the price of cereal. I remember from being in college. You know what I mean? And it's like they're bringing it down, they're bringing it down, and people are like, we're not buying that shit. Why? Because there is a collective discourse around something that is important.
Do the same. See, that opens up a whole nother topic and conversation of this we the people mentality.
Yes.
We can control gas, we can
Yes.
control interest rates, we can control economies,
Everything.
everything, if we
Everything.
just work together. We
Absolutely.
don't have to let them be at the top anymore. Because
You don't the thing is, you don't need the top.
right.
Once you understand that the top doesn't actually exist nor control anything, you suddenly find yourself free. And you suddenly find yourself more connected and more dependent and interdependent with your community. This is why the Jews have been thriving for thousands of years, not because, anything special, but because they had no other choice but to be in a community. And the community and the way you are in the community and the way you invest in the community and the way you uplift the community and everything is in the community. And the black community was like that in the nine in the, I'm not good with history, but there was a very high value of that in the Italian community, and you have examples of such communities all over the world in histories where the collective, once it actually approaches it in a very reasonable way, has the power to decide what's good for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine that community, living in a community, even if it was 100 people, you could change the scale whatever you want. But if all I had to do was wake up today and give all I had for the well-being of whatever my skill set was. Let's say I was good with wood or farming or metalworks or whatever, right? And all I did was benefit my community. I didn't worry about where I was going to eat, what I was going to sleep, what clothes I was going to wear, nothing. I have 99 other people with that same mentality looking after me. What kind of village would thrive in that way? I would never go
Mhm.
hungry. I would never not have something to wear. I would never not have a roof over my head. I can do everything as one man, right? I can build a house. I can kill an animal. I can purify water. I can do all these things. How much time does that take me? I got 99 people doing that for me every day. And that's just in a village of 100. Let's take it to 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000, 300,000,000. How about the population of the planet working together? Here's a concept: if nature repeats itself in these cycles, is in your body you have trillions of cells that make up the body, right? The body of Alex or the body of
Mhm.
Brandon. Isolate any one cell and tell me what it's doing. You can't, but they all work together
Yep.
for the common good of your body. There's an example from a nature. Go ahead. We'll go down a rabbit hole here.
I just wanted to cough. Go ahead.
Anyways, it's a concept that realizing that the blueprints, the structure is in everything. It's already there. The examples are already there. Nature already works this way. It all is
Hmm.
already there. All you have to do is mimic the system instead of being a cancer, you know?
So the body of Alex, right? The organs are all controlled and managed by an organism who is essentially tinier than anything else and receives feedback from the system and regulates it if everything's healthy. and it happens on an automatic level. And I think for us, the feeling of disconnection is exactly the feeling of disconnection of that collective mind, right? Of that something that's higher and above all of us. And it takes us back to our earlier conversation. It's feeling that that mind already exists and
Right.
how it moves each and every one of us already in the direction that we need. And all we need is not to fight it, but to actually allow it to exist,
Yeah.
which is bring us back to the earlier conversation of the 4-second action, right? Don't think about it. The order to act comes to you from above. All you need to do is agree and act. Allow the experience into your life.
Yeah. I think there's another way of we try to navigate the boat constantly in the stream instead of just taking your oars out the water and being like, just let it push you. It's going to take you everywhere you need to go. Just stop fighting it. Like, just go with the flow. I don't mean it. I mean on a much a deeper level than, saying, you don't have to worry about shit. You don't have to make an effort. Not like that. But I just mean when it comes to acting, like, um, I don't know. Maybe it's a feeling I really don't have words to describe it, but let go. Just let go. Realize it already has your best interest at hand. Stop fighting it. Stop making calculations. Learn from it. It's a path that patterns everything. All you have to do is gather it along the way. Go out there, make a friend. Go out there, work, do something for somebody else. Just one act. And try as much as you can to do it without wanting some kind of reward from it in the first place, I don't like the people who are constantly taking self of themselves while they give the beggar food. Like that's a reward. Brother, I gotta cut loose, man.
Yep,
I
same
got
here.
dinner.
So let's summarize this
Yeah,
real
but I,
quick. Uh, I don't even know how to summarize this. I think we're good.
yeah. Do good, do better, move, make efforts, love, keyword,
Yep.
try. There's probably some books or something or some education system out there that you can go and delve into a little bit deeper.
So there is an exercise I will share with anyone who might be watching this. Um, if you're ever at a loss and you're frustrated and just tired, you can restart that connection with yourself, that internal guidance system that essentially gives you that nudge towards the next step that you need to take, but you need to take it. Just quiet your environment, right? Sit in a quiet room, darken it if you need to, and just spend a couple of minutes of quiet. Spend a couple of minutes of quietness, just allow your thoughts to clear out and envision what it is that you want, what ignites your heart, what you want to do for others that actually brings you so much joy. And instantly, instantly, you're going to get a nudge. 1 second, but you're going to get a nudge into an action to realize that. Do it. Do it. If you want fulfillment, that little action is going to take you to the next step. The challenge with us is the comfort, right? We like being comfortable. Many people, our ego likes being comfortable with the known and familiar. And that's the struggle to get rid of.
Yeah.
Brandon, brother, I love you so much. I appreciate you getting on.
Yeah. Same here, man. Love you, man. We'll have to make a routine of this though.
Yeah, I think it was good. Maybe we can prepare some topics for the next talk.
Yeah. Dial it in because if you just let me talk forever, I can
Same here.
burn up
Same.
the daylight.
You got it. All right, brother.
Okay. I'll talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon. All right.